Hey, if you figure out things to do better in inside trading and it works for you and you make rich
So
off
you
of it,
want your president to be insider trading?
yeah. Just like if I became president and I was
I'm
able to
I
get
just
my
I can't fathom these people, dude. 'How old are you?
25.
Do you support Trump?
Yeah.
What's your birth year?
2001, January 19th.
Okay, and if the election were held today, Harris versus Trump, who would you rather vote for?
Trump.
Okay, why do you support Trump?
Because I like what he's done with I mean, it's like that he's showing the corruption, even if he is doing the corruption as well. At least he's also showing that it's being done, and that no matter what.
What? So you want people to be corrupt so that you can see that they're corrupt?
No,
Why?
what did I say I wanted? What did I say I wanted him to? Did you not
So I'm
hear me?
asking, why do you want to support Trump?
Why do I? There is no want. I just support him because I'm glad of what he's done. There is no want. I'm just glad he's did what he's done. I mean, what do you mean
You
want?
supporting him is predicated off of your values and what you want. Don't act like that's not true.
Okay, yeah, you're right. I'd rather the corruption be shown rather than be hidden. You rather it stay hidden, not be shown or said. So you would just like a faked fairy world or something, just fairy tale. That's if a president lies to you and lies, you don't care. You're just gonna accept it because they say they're democratic and they have this and that, and they support your values.
No,
So even though they're just
I'm
as
against corruption, and I want to support the least corrupt candidate possible, that is viable, and
that is my
Trump is the
point.
most possible corrupt candidate. Okay,
That's what you
he has
believe.
made billions from the presidency. He's made most of his net worth, specifically since 2024. He's used the position of presidency to make billions of dollars. Right, he's gone from 2.3 billion to 6.5 billion in 2 years from between 2024 and 2026. That is blatant corruption to levels in which we've almost honestly never seen before.
So what was corrupt about it exactly?
But what's corrupt about him using insider information as president to then make billions of dollars?
Correct.
As president, he can make money from foreign assets. They can send him a bunch of money through the valuations of stocks that he buys. He can use his insider information and insider trade to make money. You guys literally found an issue with it specifically when Nancy Pelosi was apparently doing it, right?
I don't even know if she did it. I don't even know nothing about
Oh,
Nancy
now you
Pelosi.
don't know about Nancy Pelosi. Well, for the past 10 years, that's all Republicans have been talking about, right? When it comes to insider trading.
Insider trading with Nancy Pelosi. I know. I don't know anything about. I could care less if anyone of politicians use what they can use to use stocks, whether Democratic, liberal, Republican.
So you think that no one should be insider trading?
Hey, if you figure out things to do better in inside trading and it works for you and you make rich
So
off
you
of it,
want your president to be insider trading?
yeah. Just like if I became president and I was able to get my.
I can't fathom these people, dude. These people are just like interesting, bro.
So are you
You
telling me
want your
that a man?
president to be insider trading, bro.
Okay, maybe not want, but if they use it, I'm not gonna care. It's not that I want
Okay,
it.
you don't
Someone
care that
wants,
your
like
president
someone
is
wants
insider
it.
trading? I think that's a problem.
How so?
Why? Because people can use the position of presidency to be corrupt and to do things that are bad for the country. And if you're creating an incentive specifically to do this, it's going to exist more permanent in the future for people.
I think it already has it. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of presidents that have lost money under it and have made money under it and been corrupt. But I'm pretty sure every single president has is corrupt or in some way corrupt.
Okay, but so do you want to support the most or the least corrupt candidate possible?
Corrupt is corrupt. I'm not talking about least or I mean, I'm not looking at one sin less than the other sin. It's
So wait,
they're both equal.
so you think that you would vote for the more corrupt candidate of the two just because you don't care about corruption?
Well, if I believe which one is more corrupt, I believe in the way of thinking that it's okay that a man can be. I mean, certain things I don't agree with that. To me, it's just so. Yes, I would choose the less corrupt candidate, and that would to me would be a Republican.
Okay, so how is Trump less corrupt and how are the Democrats more corrupt?
Well, Harris, to me, she's lied about a lot. All she did was get a bunch of singers like Nicki Minaj and all this to speak for her. I mean, when I heard,
No,
I
that was
mean,
actually Trump.
so
Nicki
no,
Minaj is
Nicki.
MAGA.
So Nicki Minaj, when she was first, no, that was Cardi B. My bad, that was Cardi B. So Cardi,
Yeah,
when
those are
she did
two
that
separate
speech,
people, sir.
yeah, that's why I corrected myself. I don't. Okay, whoop de doo. So she was trying to. She was reading a paper, kept looking at it, reading. And she kept messing up and having to read because we know it was just writ for her to lie for Kamala Harris. I mean, that's all Kamala Harris did was keep on getting people to speak for her. I never heard anything she said. When I tried to watch her speak, there was other people speaking for her. Why is that?
By the way, the main criticism that people had was Meg the Stallion, right? I just want to let you know that was what people mainly had an issue with. So you got to figure out who you even have a problem with in the first place.
But I'm just
But
asking you
yeah, so
simple
what's
questions
the
that you
problem
can answer.
specifically with her having people perform as a part of the
Because
campaign
I
in the
wanted
same
to
way
hear
that
her as
happens
a
specifically
candidate.
on behalf of the Republicans? Every single candidate
That's
does that. That's called marketing your campaign.
okay. That's not what I just said. I said, how come every time she's up on stage, I want to hear what she has to say. That's
She
why I heard.
does. Like she goes up on stage and she
Cool.
speaks
That's
professionally, way
cool.
more
I
professionally
heard.
than Trump. She's way more
Okay.
presidential
What
than
has she
Trump is.
said? What has she said?
What has she said?
That would make you want to vote for her as a candidate. What has she said specifically?
Yeah, she wanted to expand the child tax credit to $6,000 for the first year of a child's life, 3,600 to them being 5 years old, 3,000 to them being 18, a $25,000 tax credit for first-time home buyers for new homes, a $2,000 cap on pharmaceuticals out of pocket, $35 per month cap on
How
insulin
did
for
she? Okay,
everybody,
so how did
a
she say she would
$50,000
get
tax
that money?
deductible for small businesses in the first year of them starting out,
How would that?
universal
How would
access
she
to
make that
healthcare.
possible? How would you make that possible? Tax cuts. Who would have to eventually pay that, or how would that? It just wouldn't be
By
paid.
increasing taxes on the rich. She wanted to actually decrease taxes on working class people and then increase taxes on income over $400,000 a year in order to be able to pay for it. And her bill, or her policies, according to the Committee for Responsible Federal Budget, would have added $4 trillion less of debt-related spending over the next 10 years comparative to Trump's.
So what you're saying is, if a businessman is in Virginia and he has a job and he's paying workers a certain amount, and then President Harris comes in and says, "Well, you got to pay them more." Well, he's like, "You know what? I'm just going to shut down completely and go on to Mexico."
Pay
What
them
then?
more? Well, I'm confused with your argument. I don't. So we also do want to increase the federal minimum wage. Yeah, that's a good thing. But I didn't bring that up
That's what
when
I'm
I said
saying.
that's also a
So
great thing.
there's many jobs shutting down because of how bad
Something like
all
that.
the things. So
Okay,
there's
so we
like,
need to increase the federal minimum wage because it hasn't been increased since 2009.
okay, well, they're not paid minimum wage. They were paid. They were a union and they shut down. So explain that.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
A job that was union that shut down because of how things are and how they've been. They've been getting worse and worse. So they were already going to shut down under Biden,
Do
but
you
they
think that
put it.
Trump is more likely to union bust or the Democrats?
Huh? Oh, I think both. I don't think either side wants unions for some reason.
Democrats do like unions. Republicans, like such as Trump, are the ones that have tried to union bust, sir. Right?
You
Like
tell me
Trump
one
has gone
union
on a
job.
X call with Elon Musk and bragged about union busting.
He bragged about union busting within a certain job. I remember what he said. I couldn't remember the. I remember reading the conversation. Well, it's been too long. I can't really remember, but I know it wasn't about regular workers as myself as he was
It
talking.
was.
Well, from what I heard, okay, you're right. I would have to look back into it and re, read what he said. There was a video recording of what he said and what he was talking about specifically. But okay, I think I'm 100% sure he didn't say I'm union busting middle class workers. Pretty sure he specifically said he was unionized busting.
Union busting. And
Yeah. No,
literally,
he just said he was union busting. He didn't say
yeah,
which
like
job
he knew that they were
specifically.
wanting to unionize, so that he wanted to go after them. Like that's what him and
Which job?
Elon were
Which
bragging
job are
about.
you talking about?
Just their typical employees.
Oh, so you don't even know what job. So you could be lying to me because you can't even say specifically what he was talking about or who he was talking about or what job he was talking about that was trying to unionize and he stopped.
He specifically was just referencing his employees.
His employee.
He didn't
Thank you.
specify which
Thank you.
particular
Or
business
is
or
his
which particular
employees?
industry.
Okay, I'm asking. Is his employees middle class?
I would assume in most instances, yes.
Okay, so within the job that they work, you're saying they're all paid middle class wages,
I would pay that they're likely paid less in a lot of the circumstances because it's Trump.
and you think that they would work there for less? Okay, darn. So now
Oh,
even
no, wait,
working.
sorry. Did you say minimum wage?
No, I'm saying the workers choose to work for Trump for
Did you
that
say
such low
median
pay.
wage or minimum wage?
Huh? I don't
Did
even
you say
remember saying
did you say
minimum
were they
wage.
getting paid median lower than median wage or minimum wage?
No, I never said were they getting paid anything minimum wage.
Okay, all right.
What the heck? What?
I don't. What did you say then?
I said there's no way. You're telling me they chose to work for Trump at that low of a pay. What did you
What
get
low
from
of a
him?
pay? I think I misheard you.
You said they're getting paid like if they were middle class. So I said, you're telling me they're choosing to work for Trump for that such low pay. I don't know what you got from what I just said.
Yeah.
That's all I asked is that you're telling me
Yes.
that you're choosing to work for Trump for that low pay.
Yes.
Can you prove? Do you have a source on their payment or how much they get paid actually? Can you prove that?
No, I was just telling you specifically what my assumptions were. I can look and try
Oh,
to find
okay.
information on that.
Well, I'd rather not take your word for it, and I'd rather you. I mean, if I told you they're getting paid $1 million a year, you're gonna take
I
my word
told you that
for it.
I assume. I literally said that in the statement, sir.
Well, I assume that they're getting paid upper way. I mean,
Okay.
more than
Now,
maybe.
what's the point of that? What are we getting from this conversation?
Then I'm confused on why you're saying certain things about Trump that so it was within his job. He's not union busting anyone out here in any other factory job. So why would he be worried about what a tire company does? He wouldn't.
Okay. The point that I'm making is that people who care about social services, workers' rights, and things like that are not Republicans. You can't name me. How about this? Can you name me a single policy that Donald Trump has influenced to get passed that's benefit the average American more than it's benefit the rich?
And it's benefited the rich. I guess probably the aircraft, spacecraft thing that he created within the policy for the army. That has
The
nothing to do with the rich.
spacecraft thing in the army?
Our
What?
aircraft, I don't know the aircraft. I forgot what the policy was called or whatever. It's oh, no, that was 2016. That was his first term, I think. Never mind.
2016 was under Obama.
Or no, 2018. I don't remember. There was
Did
some
you mean
policy,
Space Force?
but I think that was his first
Do you mean the
term.
creation of Space Force?
I believe so. I forgot the name.
How did that help the average American more than it benefit the rich?
No, I'm just saying. I don't think that had anything to do with the rich.
I don't think
How
it had
does
anything to
having
do with the average American either. So can you tell me one policy that Trump influenced to get passed that
so
benefit
that
the
didn't
average
help any of
American
the
more than it benefit the rich?
so that didn't help any of the soldiers or any of the workers within the army or whatever. I mean, this.
No, I don't think the creation of Space Force is going to help any people other than like probably government contractors.
So there won't be people within that job that just got a job through that. So there is
Yeah,
no one
people. There are
working
people
within
who
it.
got jobs in the context of those defense contractors. Now that does not mean it was more beneficial to the average American than it was to the rich.
So it benefited a rich person more for that middle
Are you
class
just saying
person getting a
defense
job.
increasing defense spending is going to be better for the average American than the rich?
I think it would be well. I think
When we spend more than the
it's
next
equal.
14 nations combined, most of them being our allies.
I think it's equal. It helps both the rich and the middle class. It's like a union within on the army, so they're unionized to protect all, not just the poor and not just the rich. Is that a bad thing to you? Does that not help both the rich and the poor, or is that bad because it helps the rich as well?
No, I'm just asking for something that benefits the average American more than it benefits the rich. That's what I was
How does
asking you
not
for. I'm not even
protecting
making a
our
claim that any policy that somehow in the end benefits the rich is going to be bad because I actually inevitably think that my policies, right, because they benefit the middle class, they create better consumer conditions, which that will inevitably help the rich anyway. Right, so even though we're taxing them at a higher rate, they're still going to end up making more money because that reinvested money will lead to more consumer spending and
okay,
the buying of their products.
let's say you are right. Let's say they up minimum wage to 20 whatever amount of money. And then there's a factory down there that only pays $16 an hour, and everyone quits, and they all go to fast food. And then you start seeing plants, factories shut down from left and right, and then everyone's just
Real
becoming these
domestic
fast food.
manufacturing investment has declined every single quarter of Trump's administration so far.
So, as I'm asking, I didn't ask anything about Trump. I'm leaving Republican and Democratic out of it. I'm just bringing them work with the people in it. That is it. Just you and me. I don't think you work, but people like me that work middle class. The last thing I want to see is factories or certain places that can't afford to pay us $20, $25 an hour and then shut down. Then people that maybe were maintenance making 30 some dollars an hour now lose their job because you were worried more about minimum wage and how they got paid rather than the upper people losing their jobs and now becoming the less paid and now probably losing their home, losing certain things, having to cut budgets because of you wanting minimum wage to go up. Are you telling me
I'm
that?
confused. Repeat what you just said again. I'm really confused with your argument.
So if minimum wage, so what is a minimum? Do factories pay minimum wage? Do all factories pay minimum wage?
No,
No, they pay $16 an hour. So a minimum wage job is like what? Fast food, all that, an easy job pretty much. So if a job is paying
no, not
more
all
than
minimum wage jobs are easy
what
jobs.
what full okay, so For me, it's an easy job. I'm just speaking on my. I've worked at many jobs. It's okay, just on my behalf. It's easy. So an easy job compared to a factory job, it is a lot more easier. So why would I work in a factory that pays only 16 compared to just fast food? Settle for an easy laid back job making $20 to $25 an hour because they up minimum wage so well. I'd rather see all the other plants shut down, fail because they can't afford to pay us, and which they will inevitably because everyone's going to work for the higher paying job, not the and the easier job, not the
You,
factory
you
job.
know that factory wages would just increase as well.
Well, they up the wages just as much
You're
as the
just saying
minimum
that some
wage.
factories that aren't as profitable will not be able to continue with those minimum
And
wage standards. Okay, that's
people
fine.
that are
You know
within the
why we
maintenance.
have these minimum wage laws? Because paying lower than that is not a living wage. And if we have these minimum wage laws and we know that there are going to be some businesses that will fail because of the fact that they won't be able to hire people below that minimum wage, that's the problem of that business structure and how it's structured. And it needs to become more profitable in order to be able to exist within the system. That's just how things function, okay? And you have to be able to pay your workers a living wage. If you're not paying your workers a living wage, then maybe your business shouldn't exist.
So $16 an hour is not a livable wage to you.
I'm not even the amount that people were specifically saying that they wanted to change to it. Also, by the way, 16 hours, $16 an hour. It depends on where you live. Like if you live in Los Angeles, 16 hours or $16 an hour is not going to be a living wage.
Okay, so I'm
But
in
for
like
$16 an
California.
hour, like for example, like in a specific very rural community, could be enough to get by. But the
Well,
the notion is that the amount that it was going to be increased to under the Biden administration, at least they were advocating for, was $15 an hour federally. Okay, it's right now
wouldn't it
750.
be better to just decrease the prices? Like I don't. I mean, I don't understand why we are not.
Decrease
Never
the
mind.
prices. Trump has led to more inflation. What you're not understanding is that like the policies on a minimum
I
wage,
know
the
that.
amount
I
that
do
they are
know
inflation.
that.
Listen, 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 listen. This is a really good point. The amount that minimum wage laws are inflationary is a lot less of a cost to you than the amount that you'll see an increase in your wages due to the minimum wage laws being in place. Because minimum wage laws, they don't just increase the wages of minimum wage workers, but throughout the entirety of the economy.
Yeah. So when I paid attention to that, because I mean, even as a kid, I could pay attention when they upped the price. I mean, did up minimum wage, and when they up minimum wage, and I saw something that was sold for six
Hey,
dollars,
can I
I
tell
said,
you something?
no.
We
Hold on, hold
one
on,
more
hold
thing.
on. So
We need
just
to adjust. We need to have adjusted for inflation.
exactly. So what's going to happen if they do up that? Something that costs maybe $10 is now going to cost $18 to $20 because I've seen it happen when they up the minimum wage. It went up. It like
You're
skyrocketed.
just estimating off of the bullshit numbers. You have no basis for any of these numbers. Increasing a minimum
Groceries.
wage is a gradual thing that you do,
Okay, you
but
want
it's
to look
also an
into it?
important thing that you need to do
Hold
because of
on.
the
I can.
fact that you need to have an upward pressure on the wages and upward pressure for bargaining for the average worker.
Yeah. Okay. So like I said, what's I mean, instead of just saying it, can I mean, I'll look up the minimum wage as it rose, and we'll look up the prices on how much everything else rose: groceries, gas, live things you need to live. So you're telling me they did not skyrocket when minimum wage went, maybe not skyrocketed, but definitely went up?
No, I mean you can specifically look at whenever we
Really? Oh
no
darn. So
when
all
can
those
I please
parents that
speak?
I talk
So like again, it can have some level of inflation, but it's not very inflationary. Okay, things like Trump's war with Iran and his tariff policy is more inflationary than minimum wage laws. You can speak now.
so all those people that I mean not worked with as a kid growing up, adults that had jobs that didn't pay minimum wage, they were paid more, but now cannot afford certain things because when minimum wage went up, the things that they bought for their livelihood also went up, and now you hurt them. But that's okay because you just want people that make minimum wage to not suffer, but those that don't to suffer.
No, people who make more than minimum wage, they will also see increases in their wages. That's because the increased minimum wage also has an impact in the economy that then leads to increases in wages for other industries as well.
Okay, so so what happens is a job that works on production, so they have to buy material, shipping, and all kinds of things. So now that you upped minimum wage, the prices of these things also went up. So the company is now going to also hurt. You're going to hurt a lot of companies. You're going to hurt a lot of people, and you're going to possibly cause a lot of people to lose their jobs all because you want a minimum wage to go up. And this is profit margins. This has to do with productivity gains, everything. You're leaving out so much things within the companies. So
This is
so
all
if you look,
nonsense.
So no. So
The
when
minimum wage is lower today than it was in 2009 because inflation makes it lower. So the
okay,
if the inflation was completely fine around that time with the imposition of it, inflation was completely fine with other increases to minimum wage, then I don't understand what your big problem is because minimum wage is not the main problem for why inflation is going up. Minimum wage is a very, very small portion of that, okay? Very, very unbelievably small, tiny little portion of it, okay? The main cause of inflation, especially right now, is Donald Trump's administration, his war with Iran and his tariffs. That's what he's done. And I just want to be very clear with you. Donald Trump has not led to better conditions for job growth. We've seen lower levels of job growth under Trump's administration as opposed to Biden's administration. We've seen unemployment go up under the Trump administration since he's got in office. We've seen real domestic manufacturing investment decline every single quarter of Trump's administration. It's not like he's bringing back manufacturing to this country. We saw massive increases under the Biden administration for domestic manufacturing investment accounting for inflation, but we didn't see that under Trump's administration, and we've seen decline because of his tariff policy.
okay, so within the union job that my dad worked for almost 20 years, the reason they shut down is because the last term they even spoke about it within the workers and the higher ups to corporations spoke on why they were shutting down to the workers. It was because of the last administration. So because of a union, because of Biden, what he did in his first term caused that union job to Yokohama to shut down and move to Mexico. Many jobs actually shut down, but you don't pay attention to that because you don't know. You talk nonsense. You don't know anything about. Name some union jobs. Name some manufacturing union jobs.
Manufacturing union jobs,
Or
construction jobs, depending on the type of construction job.
okay, so I gave you a specific name, Yokohama, and why they shut down, and why many
You want me
other
to give
jobs
you a manufacturing plant
that's unionized because you
of people
said
with unionization? I mean, that could be hyper specific to my area. I don't know if I would want to say that.
okay. So you don't have okay. Maybe you don't even have a
Maybe
lot of
like,
union
would
jobs.
you be okay with a larger business?
Yokohama. That's why I can't name Yokohama. You might not know. Never mind. Maybe you don't know nothing about Yokohama.
I don't. I actually don't. But
They're a tire
um,
company. They're very big.
okay,
They're from Japan, actually. It's a Japan company.
sure. Do you think
Not
Honda has
sure
any
it is.
union jobs here in the United States?
Say that again.
Do you think Honda has any like manufacturing
I believe
jobs here in the United States?
aren't all tire businesses good or Goodwill. I mean not Goodwill. Goodyear all unionized.
What's that?
Aren't all tire business unionized? I'm pretty sure. Or maybe I'm wrong. Could be wrong.
I'm not sure about that. I don't think so.
But either way, because of one person's term, this job was shutting down, preparing to shut down and move to Mexico because of Biden. So you're saying that they help union, but from my experience, it's the other way around. So you can't tell me my experience is false, and I can't tell you yours is false. It seems like both of them dislike union.
So then you can't tell E. Jean Carroll her experience is false.
Why would I tell her that?
Well, because she was a by Donald Trump, and
Yeah,
you
I
don't want
know.
to admit that happened.
Didn't she win?
Yeah, she held Donald Trump liable for sexual abuse. Yeah, she won the
Did I
case.
not just admit that?
Do you think Donald Trump is a violent sex offender?
Violent sex offender. No, I do not think he's a violent sex offender, but do I think he's
Abuse, him being held liable of sexual abuse is a violent sex offense.
I would, like I said, I would have to like understand why she was even around Trump. Like I said, I would have to hear the story. I didn't never watch the case myself. I would have to hear her and the jury, everything, or whatever happened during that
Well,
civil. It
the
was
jury found him liable of sexual abuse. So, given that you know that a jury found him liable of sexual abuse, would you agree he's a violent sex offender?
so on his record, it will say he's a offender. It will say that on his
It's because it's a
register.
civil offense. It won't come up on his record
Oh well,
for
then.
criminal record.
So I don't believe he. Also, I don't think he was guilty. Found guilty for it.
Okay, so all the people who are held civilly liable of abusing children in New York because of the statute of limitations change with the Child Survivors Act, you're saying that you don't believe that those are violent sex offenders, even though they were held civilly liable of abusing children?
Why are you bringing up kids? I'm not here to talk about kids.
Okay, can I have an answer to the question?
To me, that they're wrong and that they should have been dealt with by the people hung in the streets, unaligned, and that's up to y'all to do something
Yeah,
about
that's
them.
civil liability. So you agree that they're a violent sex offender if the victim is a
If they
minor,
touch a
but if the
child,
victim's an
yes.
adult, then you don't think they're a violent sex offender?
I think the adult has, depending on where they're at and how Trump was able to do that. To me, she has some
Depending on
liability.
how Trump was able to abuse her, it can change
Correct.
whether or not he's a violent sex offender?
Yes, I have to know her demeanor, what she was saying to Trump. What
What?
she,
Wait, if she was abused, you agree that Donald Trump is a violent sex offender, right?
huh? Oh, okay, when
If
did
she
this
has been
happen?
sexually abused, then Donald Trump
When,
is a violent
when,
sex
when
offender.
did this happen? When did this happen? What year?
1995, 1996.
Yeah, I would have. I mean, after that long, that the statute of limitations. So to me, she just waited until Trump was president, did something, just used it as propaganda, and y'all all ate it up.
Well, then why did it go through the context of a court case? Why did an entire unanimous decision of 9 people in a jury determine this? And also, you now are saying
So
that you
what's
don't
because
believe.
of it?
Now, by the way, I got him to then concede he does not believe Eugene Carroll. So you are telling people their experience is wrong. Is that what you're saying?
Was Trump charged for E. Jean Carroll?
Are you saying that she didn't experience that?
Donald Trump owes.
So she equivocates that
Are
program.
wait, answer the question. Are you denying her experience? ChatGPT, please help me.
What's Google? Yeah, like I said, I never read anything on the case, so I don't know nothing about it. So yes, I would have to.
ChatGPT, please, if you can hear me, please save us. ChatGPT, please, please, ChatGPT, please save us. Thank you, please save us, ChatGPT. We need you, ChatGPT, please save us.
So he was charged with defamation to pay 83.3 million. This verdict was upheld by a federal appeal court. Trump was singled. He plans to appeal this to the Supreme Court, but federal appeals court ordered him to post a bond. In the meantime, to ensure payment, you can track the ongoing development of these judgment and disbursements directly through CNN. So he paid 83.3 million case in a separate. Oh, that was a separate. So the 5 million case, the 2023 jury found Trump liable for abuse and defamation. The U.S. Supreme Court declined to hear his appeal and forcing him to pay the 5 million judgment plus the court.
He had to pay $83 million for defamation.
No, 5 million. The 83 million case is a separate trial case in 2020.
The 5 million is for abuse, and the 83 million is
for
defamation.
Correct. That's what I just read. I didn't know about that. So, like I said, I don't know nothing about the case. I didn't know anything. Like whoop-de-doo.
Okay, so now that you do know about it, would you agree that Donald Trump is a violent sex offender?
Well, he was found liable with Eugene.
He was found liable. So do you agree he's a violent sex offender?
Against Eugene Carroll, yeah, sure.
Okay, so you agree. So would you ever vote for a violent sex offender?
Would I vote for Trump? Yeah, I'd still vote for Trump.
Okay, so you would vote for a violent sex offender.
I'd vote for Trump, correct.
And you don't have a problem with the fact that he's a violent sex offender?
Against
Or do you think
Eugene
that's
Carroll?
defamation?
No. Against Eugene Carroll, no.
Yeah, do you think I'm engaging in defamation against Trump?
No, what I have voted for Trump if Eugene Carroll would have did this case in like 2019 in the time that it happened. No, I would not have. But since she waited so long, that is why.
Okay, do you think I'm defaming Trump?
I could care less. I don't care.
You don't care? And I'm just asking if you think I'm defaming.
He's just a president. He's just a regular person. I don't worship Trump. I don't care what you call Trump or what you say about Trump. I'm not a Trump worshiper.
Okay, but is there anything Trump could do that would get you to stop supporting him?
Anything he could do? What are you doing now? I mean, I would not vote for him. For
What he's
another
doing
president.
now, so you wouldn't vote for him?
No.
Okay, you know what? I'll take it.
Why would I vote?